Hello guys, S2W here with your next casual consumer's perspective review. If you're new here to my channel, I make informative and in-depth sneaker reviews so everyone will know what the sneaker feels like in hand. If you have a chance, it would do me a huge favor if you hit that subscribe button to support this channel, as it really helps me knowing that my videos are useful to the community. For this early review, I was able to grab a pair of this shoe online through Yeezy Supply. On November 15th, they suddenly shock dropped about 10,000 pairs of what everyone is calling it the successor to the low-cut Yeezy Boost silhouette. Originally, rumor was it was postponed, but I guess Yeezy Supply made pairs available for early adopters and possibly to create hype. Labeled as the first or OG colorway for this brand new model, today we have the adidas Yeezy Boost 380 in the alien colorway here for a review. By now, I think everyone is already aware of the huge popularity between Adidas and Yeezy collaborations. Throughout late 2016 till even present day at the end of 2019, Adidas and Yeezy designer Kanye West have repeatedly released new colorways to the adidas Yeezy Boost 350 V2. The colorways eventually got so repetitive that several releases afterwards started to change bit by bit, including changing the design of the side text brandings, removing or adding the heel tab, adding a translucent stripe, and even adding limited 3M reflective versions. Although they all sell out eventually, the hype has definitely slowed down because of the sheer amount that was available to the public, and rumor has it that the silhouette will continue even into next year 2020 with more colorways. A lot of sneakerheads were tired of it and craved for a new model or maybe the next generation, the 350 V3. However, surprisingly, rather than calling it that, they have completely rebranded it into the 380s instead. Let's take a closer look at these sneakers. Having the shoe in hand, this silhouette greatly reminds me of when the adidas Ultra Boost line introduced the uncaged version. I say this because the biggest difference on the 380 upperwise compared to the 350 V2 is that the collar entry on the 380, just like the Ultra Boost uncaged, is now transformed into an elastic sock liner that will hug around our ankles. Putting the shoes on will now require slightly more work, yanking the knit textile open to put our feet in, rather than simply sliding our feet in on the 350 V2s. This elastic collar also sits higher than the 350 V2, resting against our ankles with a bit more height. In terms of the upper, the whole sneaker keeps its prime knit construction, which is Adidas' currently most well-known knit textile known for its adaptability, breathability, and lightweight comfort. The prime knit on this 380 though continues to be as firm as the 350s were without much stretch. The elasticity is further prevented due to the internal caging seen on the previous models getting carried over to this one as well, holding the shape of the knit upper internally and also offer more structural strength. Visual wise, the knit on the 380 is now dressed in a completely new pattern. Kinda difficult to describe it in my opinion, but let's just say the name of the colorway, Alien, seems pretty fitting for this pattern as it does look unnerving, almost like a virus is spreading. Regardless, this OG Alien colorway carry a simplistic white, gray, and cream white shading, matching pretty much most of the recent Yeezy releases where the colorways are not at all flashy and more low-key than anything. Texture wise, if you were to brush against the upper, you will feel that the cream white layer is elevated above the gray layer and the gray layer is above the white underlay, creating a bumpy 3-dimensional quality by touch. On the lateral side, we will see the similar translucent mesh stripe found on the late 350 V2 colorways slashing across the canvas on these 380. However, the stripe is now more pronounced and wide, almost like an open wound. Seen under this mesh stripe are perforations that will help ventilate the heat out during wear. If we take a closer look on this lateral stripe, it's actually made out of 2 layers, a mesh grid and also a plastic structural backing underneath. This plastic underlay breaks off from the tip of the sneaker and then separates into 3 individual strips, and then converging back together at the other end. You can see these plastic strips running over certain lace holes blocking the entry, while a few are left opened. I'm pretty sure creative sneakerheads will find new ways to lace up the shoe, but upon closer inspection, these 3 strips are actually split apart strategically on top of every opened lace hole, basically strengthening the knit and preventing it from ripping as we tighten up the white rope laces on this sneaker. The mesh in the 3 strips are quite see-through, and since the stripe's surface area is now wider, it's safe to assume the color of our socks will be easily spotted. Then if we look at the shoe from top view, we will notice that the shoe's pattern is split from the center, running a mirror image of each other from the middle point, which once featured the iconic crisscross stitching on a 350 V1 and V2 that's now less prominent, showing a hidden seam instead. On the medial side, we can expect the same open gash with multiple lace holes, but rather than an exposed mesh stripe, it's slapped on with 3 layers instead. A shiny outer layer mesh grid, then a piece of prime knit underneath with the same plastic underlay that protects the lace holes. Inside the sneaker, the shoe comes with removable insoles just like the previous 350 model, but this time the labeling is a bit different. It's featuring the Yeezy branding with the adidas 3 stripes performance logo instead of the adidas trefoil logo. While underneath the foam insole, the patterns is just the same as the previous Yeezy insoles. Like the 350 V2, ankle cushioning support is added to the internal heel liner of the shoe, adding extra comfort and impact protection to the back of our feet. Before this Yeezy Supply release, the rumor was that this first Yeezy Supply batch of 380s were sample labeled pairs, but looking at the size tag, it seems like that's not the case and pretty much a regular impending pair of 380. Also, it seems like the internal fabric strip from the 350 is carried over to the 380 as well, preventing the rough stitching from the top closing the middle seam from scratching our feet. Midsole wise, we can see the next dramatic change in which the rubber encasement now curves up at the back, reproducing the smooth heel to toe transition more dramatically and possibly more naturally to our walking and running form. The casing seems taller in height too, which I believe will mean the full length bouncy boost cushioning inside is thicker too. Rather than a rib design seen on the 350, it's now flat surfaced with white blotches of decorations. It's a weird pattern in my opinion because from afar, the illusion felt like there's gaps between the cushioning and the wall of the midsole, but it's actually just a wavy white pattern on this translucent green midsole. Lastly, flipping over the sneaker, we will see a newly designed outsole traction and tread pattern. Even the exposed boost window openings and locations are newly placed. Furthermore, the word boost is embossed into the boost of the heel seen from the opening. Anyways, here are some adidas Yeezy Boost 380 Alien fit footage. Sizing wise, I copped the same size as my 350 V2, which I always go half size up due to my wide feet. The main concern of the 350 V2 was that the toe box angled aggressively low, leading it to crush our big toe in particular and cause discomfort. On the 380s, I feel like the fit was pretty much the same as the 350 V2. If you don't like the discomfort of the aggressive angle of the toe box of the 350 V2, it will be the same on these. If you're settled with how you like the 350 V2 feels on feet, the sizing on these 380 to me felt pretty much alike as a wide footer. Comfort wise, because the boost is a bit thicker, the boost softness does feel a little bit bouncier but in a very subtle way. I personally didn't notice too big of a difference in terms of the bounciness, but it is slightly softer on these 380 than the 350 V2s when compared side by side. The ankle collar now latches on around our ankles too, providing a closer and firmer hold like a sock. However, the biggest change to me is honestly the heel curvature. It feels as if I'm on a rocking boat. If someone were to push me and I have to step backward, I would definitely lose my balance easily. Is this a good thing? I'm not so sure, but it's a weird sensation honestly, and I think it only serves one purpose in my opinion, and that's to create a more natural heel to toe stride. Walking on this shoe felt easier on feet without much heel drag. It just feels right in a different way essentially. Visual wise, I was questionable about the new look, mostly because the sock hugging collar design will always make our pants droop over the shoe rather than resting on it. So a section of the sneaker will always be hidden by our pants unless you wear shorts or I guess pants with tight ankle cuffs. Regardless, I personally think the 350 V2 model still look a bit better, or maybe I just haven't settled in with this new model or colorway yet, but leaks have it that a black colorway is in the works and I actually find that one a bit cooler than this pair. But Hype has this alien labeled with the OG name, so it'll sell out no matter what, especially on the next global release which is still up in the air. I don't think they'll delay it for long though, so keep an eye out before 2019 ends. In terms of pricing, they were $10 more than the 350 V2s, bringing a grand total of $230 at retail. Maybe the extra boost material means a $10 increase. As always, throw me some likes if you liked this video, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and let me know in the comments if you copped or if you're planning on copping a pair when the global drop strikes. The wait for the next Yeezy Boost silhouette is finally over, and if the right colorways are used on this multi-textured prime knit, I think more fire colorways could potentially erupt the Yeezy hype back again with the silhouette. That's it for today. S2W signing off.